Welcome to this week's episode of the Ask Jeff Show. We're up to episode number 57, and we have 3 brand new questions for you guys this week. But first, just a little announcement about the show. This will actually be my last episode with this format. Starting next week, I'm going to start doing a live one-on-one, kind of like a hot seat with you guys. So we'll be sending out a link where you can apply to be on the show, where we'll go over like 2 or 3 of your biggest issues that you're having in your business, and I'll solve them live, on Facebook. So be on the lookout for that link in the next day or so. So the first question for this week, this person is saying they're having a hard time getting their employees to work up to the standards that they want set. Like, how do they get them to actually listen to what they want? So how to get employees to listen. So number one, it all starts, with you and what you tolerate. Like, people will only do what you allow them to. People will only, live up to what you allow them, what standards you allow to pass. So if somebody doesn't follow like whatever rules you put in place, and you say, no big deal, we'll fix it next time. Then the next time they're going to do it again, or somebody else is going to do it again, and they're not going to take you seriously. And then you try to implement new, guidelines or standards or rules. It's going to be hard to get everybody, to listen. Way back in the day, I used to work for Baltimore Gas and Electric. It's an electric company, and they had a 0 tolerance on being late. If you were late 1 minute for any reason whatsoever, you would immediately just grab yourself and go. There was no questions, asked. Nobody was ever late. Well, I don't care if there was an accident, if there was traffic, if anything, people would get there like 30, 40 minutes early, get coffee, sit around, talk, hang out, and then they would get their route for the day, and then they'd go out and read meters or whatever they had to do. But nobody would be late because there was 0 tolerance. They didn't care if you were the number 1, meter reader in the company. If you were late, you were gone too. So you kind of have to have that same mentality when it comes to creating rules for your business, and then, holding them accountable and actually following through. So for like me, I created a 2-strike policy, because for me, everybody's human. They can mess up once. So if a trainer were to, miss a session because they overslept, that's fine. They would get written up, so I'd let them know, I'd do some retraining, so we'd sit down, I'd go over what happened, write it all up, have them sign and acknowledge that, their alarm was set for PM instead of AM or whatever, and that now the corrective thing is that they're gonna set their cell phone and their alarm clock from now on, and if it were to happen again, then they know what the consequences would be, they would be terminated. And if they happen again, even if it's your best trainer, you have to follow through with it, because everybody else knows that they missed that one time. And that one time wasn't 2 times a year, it's 2 times forever. So if they miss one time and it's been 2 years since they missed the second one, and they missed the second one, then I'm still gonna let them go. And if everybody knows that, and that happens one time and you lose your best trainer, guess what? None of your other trainers are ever gonna miss that session, early in the morning or whatever, again. So here's, you have to, starts with you. You got to set the rule and then follow through, even if it's hard. 2, it's all about your communication. My good friends and business partners, Mark Hoverson, has a level in our game, in one of his games. It's called executive communication, and that's really key, because even if you have systems running your business and you have ways you want things done, over time you're constantly finding little ways, to make it better. And if you don't document that and then retrain your employees, in your head, you think you told everybody, and everybody's, running the latest edition or latest update, but they're not. You might have told one trainer and you assume that everybody else knows it. And then when the other person's not doing the same thing, you get upset, or you think they're not listening or whatever. So you have to communicate clearly. You can't leave anything up for assumption. So whenever you create the instructions for them to follow, it's got to be crystal clear, step by step, that anybody can just open up the manual, look at the checklist, and follow it. Even in, for everything in your business. In my gym, even the cleaning people had a checklist, because the first time they came in and they cleaned the gym just to show me how good of a job they could do, they did a great job. They sold me on it, like, all right, you're hired. You can come in once a week and do like a deep cleaning, clean everything. First week was great. Second week was good. By like the 3rd week, I noticed that the mirrors weren't done. And I was like, all right, what's going on? Maybe they're just in a hurry this time. It's like a fluke accident or whatever. The next week it was like the mirrors and one other thing. And I was like, okay, now they're just trying to hurry up because they probably got another job they had to go to, or they picked up some more business. So then I talked to them and told them my concerns. The next week it was perfect again. So I was like, all right, here's what I'm going to do. So I created a checklist of everything I wanted clean, from the mirrors to sweeping and mopping the bathroom floors, to vacuuming, to wiping down the equipment, to cleaning up, taking all the trash out, whatever it was. I had a checklist for every little thing. And then I just asked them to initial that they did each line item. You're paying them, so you make the rules. So if they say, if it's too much to ask, like, hey, can you initial this as you do them? If they say no, then find somebody else that will. And that way, if they initial off that, yes, we clean the windows, and I come in, I see a big handprint, and they've just left like 5 minutes ago, then I know they didn't, and I can be like, hey, you signed that you did the mirrors and you didn't, what's going on, and give them a 2-strike policy, as well, and find somebody else that will actually, do it. So you have to have your communication, clear. You can't leave anything up for assumption. So be clear, concise, and no assumptions. And so constantly updating your systems manuals, retraining. So you have to constantly update and retrain. And you can't expect your employees, especially as they're paid hourly, to take the initiative and go above and beyond, because they're not, whenever you pay somebody hourly, as a human beings, the way for us to get the most valuable out of that hour is either to get paid more or to do less. If they do less during the hour, then they feel like, then they're getting their worth. So you have to keep, so especially if they're hourly, employees, you have to constantly be motivating them, giving them recognition, make sure everything's updated, and then retrain when needed. And that's one of the things I see is a lot of people, they hire somebody and they expect them to take the initiative to fill that role and to keep making it better. Well, they're not. So you have to see the holes and the gaps in each position, fill those gaps, and then train them on exactly what you want, update your manual, and then again, hold them accountable and follow through with the consequences if they don't follow it. Write them up. You can do a 3-strike policy if you want. I like to, because again, everybody can mess up once. But the second time, it's on them. When you do have checklists and stuff, make sure they're not like signing everything off first and then going and doing the task, because they're definitely going to forget one, or two of the things, even though they signed off on it. And then when you go to talk to them, that's what they're going to tell you. When I used to when I was in the military in the Air Force, I was a crew chief on the B-2 stealth bomber, and we had a manual for everything. It was called technical orders. So it was like a step-by-step process for simple things, even opening up the door and closing it to get in and out of the aircraft, or changing a tire. If we were changing a tire on the aircraft, we'd have one person with the wrench in the toolbox and one person with the manual, and then open it up. The first step is telling you exactly what tools and toolbox and tools to check out to use for that specific task. One person's reading it off, one person is doing that step, and when that step's done, you're both signing off on that step. Next step, one person reads it off, one person executes the step, both people sign off on that step. And I mean, that's an extreme, but we were working on $1 billion plane that if we made a mistake or we missed a step, it would cost people's lives and cost $1 billion if the plane were to go down. So you have to have everything very specific, and it has to be updated. You can't be running off an old model. Be clear and concise with your communication, and really invest in your employees, invest in your team to keep training them and making them better, and then again holding them accountable. And then the next question we have this week is, this person wants to start a Facebook fitness group. What's the best way to set this up and get it going? So like a local Facebook group. So number one, obviously you have to create the group on Facebook, and you want to give it a name. I personally wouldn't give it the name of your business, because your fan page has your business name on it. So me personally, I like to just create a generic, local, like healthy page. So I call it like Healthy Living Baltimore. So create the name. I prefer, more generic, health name. But if you want to go with your gym name, you can, but that's what you have your fan page for. The reason this being, it's going to be, they're not going to think that you're trying to sell them something. It's more community based. They're going to be in there and you're going to get a lot more people, joining, because they're not going to think they're going to be, sold something, which you really shouldn't do a ton of selling in there, especially when you're as you're building it. Number two, these groups can grow pretty fast, pretty big. When I lived in Chino Hills, we had one called like Chino Hills Connections, and there's probably like 7,000 or 8,000 people in the group. So obviously you're going to need some kind of moderator, some kind of rules. So you want to set the rules, and then pin that post with the rules at the top so everybody can read them. And then you have to police it. So if people are in there like trying to sell their multi-level marketing thing, or trying to recruit people or whatever, other gyms trying to post in there because they don't realize that it's owned by you, then you just have to moderate that group. So just set the rules, pin it at the top. Number three, even though you're giving it a generic name, I'd still want to be transparent. I don't want to like lie and say that I don't own it, because you want to be transparent. So you can link the group to your page. And you can make yourself, the admin visible. So make the admin visible so they can see who is the admin. So that could be yourself, it could be your head trainer, your manager, whoever. And then here you just want to post great content. And the cool thing about this is that you can actually post things that are going on locally that's healthy. So if there's like a 5K that's for a charity, you can put it in there just to be cool. You can let the, tag the owner, whoever's running it in there. It's a good way to network with other businesses, but also giving your followers in the group, great ideas and things to do that are active. Not just about your gym, because you are going to plug your gym here and there, in there, especially when you have, some good content or a charity event or something like that. But really, it's just about building engagement in the community. People that are, into health and fitness or want to, live healthier lives. You can post about like a farmer's market, or if there's some kind of sale at a store on running shoes or something. Anything you can highlight. I wouldn't highlight a ton of clients and stuff in here, but you can if there's like a good, community-based, type of story, especially if there's something in the community that you were able to help out with. But I would make it more about the community and more about the community as a whole being more healthy and fitness minded, and what's available citywide in the health and fitness space. Again, it's a great way to, get good relationships with other business owners or other charities or other people that run events that you can leverage, later on, rather than being, way straightforward. And I see people create these groups, and then it's just like their fan page. They're just constantly promoting their gym, and it turns people away. Here, just make it a fun place to hang out, a fun place to engage, a fun place to put up, all the healthy options in, in your city. And that's basically it for the Facebook group. Very simple. Link it to your, put a generic name, set the rules, pin that post, because you are going to get a bunch of people in there trying to promote their own stuff. I would link the group to your fan page and make the admin the admin visible, so you are transparent about that. And then again, just post great content. And as far as growing it, you can just set up a simple Facebook ad and drive your local audience, to it to join, because it's free. So, last question for this week. This person is moving back to their hometown in 3 months, and they're going to start a new fitness studio when they get there. They want to know, like, what's the best way to build an email list and audience now before they do get there. So this really depends on, a number of things. If you know exactly where your gym is going to be, if you already have like the lease tied up, then it makes it a little bit easier, because then you could do some like pre-selling and stuff like that. But so let's put build a local audience. So obviously you want your email list, but I wouldn't stop there, because I would want to cross promote from different channels, especially now with obviously Facebook, Instagram, and so on. And then creating the custom audiences on Facebook, you can even go another layer there. So as far as like what you're going to promote, if you already have your facility down, where it is, you have an anticipated time of when you're going to open, all that stuff, then our 6-month giveaway is always a good one. And I think I've done a ton of videos showing you how to run a 6-month giveaway. But running this promotion is because now you're getting people that are interested in actually coming in. You know when you're going to start. You're going to give away like $1,000 membership pretty much, or $1,400 depending on how much you charge. And you're going to get a ton of opt-ins that way. 3 months might be a long time for them to have to wait. So what I would probably do is, in 3 months is a long time to wait. Plus, if you don't know like where your location is actually going to be, is just start putting out good fitness content. Just create a fan page and just start putting out any opt-ins that you do have. I would just put in there on the fan page for goodwill. Maybe have them message you, create your messenger list, and then the second one you can send them to like a squeeze page, create the email list. But one thing that worked really well for me is you want to make it more mission based. So 6 months will work as you get closer, and if you know where your location is. But if you don't know where your location is going to be, make it more mission based. One thing that I did, I think it was like 2011, that worked really well, is I saw an article that Men's Health put out that said Baltimore was, I think it was like number 8 in the top 10 fattest cities in the US. So I created pretty much a mission that I made it my mission to get Baltimore out of the top 10 fattest cities, and I couldn't do it alone. So that was the reason why I was putting out the content. That's the reason why I created my at-home workout program that I gave away as an opt-in for them, to opt into. And I showed them, the Men's Health article. So it wasn't me saying it. It was like another notable, company or brand like Men's Health that said Baltimore is number 8, in the U.S. And everybody who lives in Baltimore is going to see that and be like, oh, I can't believe we're one of the, fattest cities. And something they can really get behind and rally behind. So create a mission, make it mission based. Just Google like your city and the obese like stats, or how fit is your city kind of thing, and see what kind of articles pop up, and try to grab something that that's somebody that has like a pretty pretty famous brand like a Men's Health or something that says something bad about your city that you can fight against. It makes it easy not only for people to get behind you, but also for other businesses and stuff to help out with that mission. And then create your assets that you're going to give away to help with this. Like, this is my mission. This is what I want to do by when. I can't do it alone. So you're going to create some programs. It could be, since you don't have your gym yet, like I did like an at-home workout program. And this worked out great. Like, I actually got on the radio because of this mission, and they were just talking about the mission, talking about the article that I found, and I made that. And I made a DVD, it was a Fit Body at Home workout DVD that I was giving away for free, just cover my cost of shipping. And you don't have to go that far to actually create a physical product. It can just be a PDF. But I went there not even planning on like pitching like the free DVD. But they asked me, like, I was like, obviously I can't train everybody in my gym, so that's why I created my at-home program. And then they were like, well, how can everybody get it? So I was able to tell them, the website. And by the time I got home, I already had over 100 orders for the DVD. So it's pretty powerful stuff. I was just going to talk about the mission, talk about my actual gym. I wasn't trying to pitch anything. But they actually asked about it, and I was able to plug that. And by the time on the drive from the radio station back to my studio, when I got there and checked, I had over 100 orders, for the DVD. And I gave the DVD away for free, and it was like $5.95 for shipping and handling, and that covered all my costs. So really, it was a free, lead. We had their name, their contact information, like their address, their phone number. So we called them up and we thanked them for joining our mission of getting Baltimore out of the top 10 fattest cities. We let them know that their DVD is on the way, but we didn't want them to have to wait until the DVD got there in 3 or 4 days to get started. We wanted to invite them in for a free session, take them through a workout so we could show them the proper form and everything on the exercises. So when the DVD came in the mail, they could hit the ground running with the program and have the confidence to go all in on it. They come in for the free session, and then afterwards we would talk to them about their diet and nutrition, and we told them if they were interested, these are their options if they wanted to continue, and if they pick which one they'd want to be on, we'd give them a free week, so they could come in for the entire week, try it out, make sure it's a good fit for them, and we upsold them that way, and that was a great funnel. But just for list building, creating, because this person isn't going to be there, for 3 months, creating a mission-based program, and then give it away and just do your list building that way, create the fan page. And then by the time you get there, I would say a month out, that's when you're going to run the 6-month membership, giveaway. And if you're in the lab, I think we have it in there somewhere, all the different steps and videos explaining how to run the 6-month giveaway. But that's how I would create my audience, my email list, my following before I got there. I want to set myself up as the authority. I want to get people to know, like, and trust me. I want to create a mission that everybody can feel good about getting behind. So that way I'm coming back. What I would say probably is like, hey, I created this program for you to do, and on top of that, I'm actually moving back to my hometown to take care of this problem. So that way you're coming in as like this community person, you're going to start off with like a charity boot camp or some kind of big grand opening, and you already have these people behind you to give you that big, push when, right out of the gate. I've seen people run something similar with their 6-month just on a new location, not even doing the mission-based part, and have 100 people, already signed up, ready to go, and their doors open. So stick with that. Just keep building your email list. Try to cross-promote, get them on your messenger list. Get them on, when you're creating that fan page with a lot of content, you're already creating an engagement custom audience. So when you do go to run ads, once you move back, you already have people there that it's a warm audience, not just a cold audience. And do that, and you'll have more than enough people to fill up your gym from day one.